So congratulations, Jerry Ellis. You are our CI Giving winner. Please email me your mailing address and phone number so I can get you your Donnie B tickets. We'll see you tomorrow.
Certified Central Illinois' most accurate. This is your WCIA-3 forecast first.
We're all hanging above freezing right now. We're at 34 in Champaign, 35 Charleston, Mattoon, but look at Jacksonville. A little bit of sunshine goes a long way, pushing them to about 42 degrees currently. Cloud cover been a problem all day. Notice that we are clearing out in parts of central Illinois, and we expect that trend to continue as we head through tonight. 27 or so by 8. We expect kind of a mostly cloudy evening with skies trying to clear. 26 or so by 9, and by 10 we're around 26 degrees as well. Coming up, we've got a few things to talk about here. Clearing skies tonight. The warm-up will continue, but weekend rain chances are in the forecast. WCIA-3 News, your local news leader, starts right now.
Now on WCIA-3 News.
Without that program, there's going to be a lot of our students going home hungry.
The governor's proposed budget cuts could leave students with an empty stomach. Just how many kids in our area could be affected?
We wouldn't have caught the fire in the amount of time that we did. The building would have burnt completely to the ground.
A close call for a legendary restaurant. What may have sparked the fire.
And EIU will have a smaller staff next year, while the school is cutting back.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA-3 News at 5 in high definition.
In my 22 years of education, this is by far the worst financial time I've ever seen.
The pension crisis could squeeze millions out of education. Good evening, I'm Jennifer Roscoe.
And I'm Dave Benton. Governor Quinn warned about the cuts yesterday. Some $400 million if lawmakers don't find a solution to the pension crisis. Well, WCIA-3's Ashley Michaels is digging deeper for us today. And Ashley, you found out that districts would actually be left basically stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Dave, we could see huge cuts to essential programs like the free breakfast and lunch for students. Districts say they can't afford to pay for it all on their own, but by law, they can't stop paying for it either.
I'm convinced that there's a lot of our students that walk in the building every day, and the best meal that they're having an opportunity of eating is what we're serving them either at lunch or breakfast.
That's because at Riverton Middle School, about half of these kids can't afford a decent meal each day. The state requires schools to feed them breakfast and lunch. But in the latest round of budget cuts, the state's slashing almost $5.5 million from the program, something Principal Fred Lamke says will hurt more than just their bottom line.
Without that program, there's going to be a lot of our students going home hungry.
It's the same story across central Illinois. Half of the students in Sangamon, Macon, and Champaign counties rely on the free meals to get through the day.
The food that they're getting when they come to school is balanced. It's what they need, what their growing bodies need.
State dollars or not, the students must eat, leaving already struggling districts to make up the difference.
The cuts are huge. We're getting down to the bare bone.
So spending more on food could mean deeper cuts in the classroom.
We don't know where that money is going to come from, but we are going to make sure we feed our children.
Last year, Riverton got about $10,000 from the state to feed its students. They say if they lose that this year, it could mean cutting extra classes, after-school programs, or even staff members. Live in the Capitol Newsroom, Ashley Michaels, WCIA-3, your local news leader.
All right, Ashley, thanks very much.
A Decatur woman is behind bars in connection to a string of arsons. Police say 26-year-old Felicia Davis was involved. She's being charged with 3 counts of arson. It happened in the 1800 block of North Maple Avenue. In 1 month, the abandoned house was set on fire 5 times. Now, if Davis looks familiar, it's because she lives next door to the home. Don't miss that part of the story, coming up at 6. And more suspected arsonists were formally charged today, this time in Cumberland County. It's a follow-up from your news leader. Levi Barnes and Paul McCormick were arrested for setting 20 fires. Barnes is facing 60 counts, ranging from aggravated arson to residential burglary. McCormick got 19 counts of similar charges. Both are in custody, held on $1 million bond.
Meanwhile, a morning fire is caught early at a Mattoon restaurant. There was no major damage, but it did cause quite a scare for workers. This was at the original Burger King on Charleston Avenue. WCIA-3's Anna Carrera live in the newsroom. So how did it start, Anna?
Well, the general manager said they smelled smoke when they got there this morning. That was around 9:30. They looked around to see where that smell was coming from. Workers found smoke coming out of one of the heater vents, so they evacuated the building and called for help. Firefighters were able to put out the fire, and the general manager says she's grateful since the entire building could have burned to the ground.
this place has been here so long that it means a lot to everybody. And I mean, a lot of people enjoy coming here and eating, and it wouldn't be the same if it wasn't here no more.
General manager says it was a furnace fire, one of 2 units that they have there. Nothing else inside the restaurant was damaged. She says they're just lucky they were able to catch it when it happened, and they've spent most of the day cleaning things up. They had to sanitize everything before they let customers back in, but they reopened today at 4 o'clock. Live in the newsroom, Anna Carrera, WCIA-3, your local news leader.
All right, Anna, thanks very much. Well, meanwhile, authorities in DeWitt County dealing with a runaway wind turbine. The cylinder fell off a semi on US 51, 2 miles north of Clinton. Drivers are being told to expect delays so they can clean all that up. It'll take several hours.
EIU will have fewer people on its payroll next year. The university's provost says they plan to cut about 3% of the school's faculty. They're downsizing staff because of declining student enrollment. But he says they won't be laying anyone off. They just won't renew contracts for some short-term hires. About 640 people work there full-time now. U of I students are helping save lives. The Campus American Red Cross Club is raising money for measles vaccines. They're doing it by selling buttons on the quad. The shot will help children living in developing countries. More than 450 die every year from measles. The disease is easily preventable. That's why they're spreading the word.
Here, it's like something that is not a problem anymore. We get the vaccine when we're children, and it's not like we don't worry about it anymore. But it's a very real problem in other countries, and it's still killing people.
The buttons cost just $1. That's enough to vaccinate 1 child. The group will be on the quad tomorrow from 10 to 2.
And here's what we're working on for you new tonight at 6. The governor vetoed the gambling bill as promised, but tonight there's new hope for a casino in Danville. And workers on the U of I campus say they're tired of working without a contract, how they're sending the message to the university, coming up at the top of the hour. Well, you may have heard that 2013 is being called the year of the comet, and next week we'll get our first look. WCIA-3 meteorologist Derek Faber is here now. And Derek, where and when are we going to see it?
Well, we have to wait till next week, Dave. That's the unfortunate part about this. Not just yet, but we're going to get to see 2 this year, and that's pretty well. This is known as Comet Pan-STARRS. That has to do with how it was discovered and everything, but what you care about is where you're going to be looking next week. So the 12th, which is a part of next week, look just west, to our west, right around sunset, you'll be able to see it. The 16th a little further north in the sky, the 20th a little further north, and the 24th a little further north. So just basically look west around sunset just afterwards, and you're going to be able to see it. The bottom line with this is we really don't know how bright it's going to be. It's the first time it's ever crossed our area, so we really don't know too much about it just yet. It's actually going inside of Mercury and the Sun, so there's a chance it could be really bright. But don't confuse this with the next comet, which really won't get here until November or so. That's known as the Comet Ison, I should say. It's in November. Could be as bright as the moon. So you probably heard about both of these. Very rare event, Dave. Get 2 comets in 1 year that could be very, very bright.
You know, that comic Ison is also hilarious.
Yes, he's a great, I've seen him multiple times live.
It's zanies, right? All right, thanks. Well, it's being called a recall of zombie vehicles, which cars could be starting on their own.
And also tonight, this is a step forward in the fight against Al-Qaeda, where Osama bin Laden's spokesman was captured.
Live from your local news leader, Jennifer Roscoe, Dave Beckman, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Derek Faber. You're watching WCIA-3 News at 5 in high definition.
Yesterday, it's the one without a name. It's the one like 3613 bin. Oh, no, 3613.
They got it.
Yeah. That better? Is that too much, not enough headroom, or? I can only, whoa! That's as much, that's the only increment I can do. Like there? Okay.
News in HD continues here on WCIA-3, your local news leader.
One business owner is calling it parking pandemonium. A city-owned parking garage taken over by a private company in Decatur.
And guess what? You paid for it. WCIA-3's Steve Steger is here with the preview of his investigation tonight at 10. So, Steve, where is this garage?
Well, Jennifer, it's in downtown Decatur, and it's a parking garage that's been standing there for about a half a century. Right there on the side of the building, it says City of Decatur Parking Garage. But during the workday, the only people allowed to park there are employees of ADM and Regions Bank. They've posted signs that have gotten pretty confusing for members of the public, and a nearby local business owner is fed up. He's blowing the whistle on a deal that he says flew below the radar.
They have really treated this garage as if it is their own property, and I've got a problem with that.
So coming up tonight at 10, we'll show you how much of your tax money has been put into this parking garage over the years, and we'll show you the details of that deal. We will also press city leaders about it, and you'll hear their response tonight too. That's You Paid For It tonight at 10. For now, Jennifer, back to you.
I can't wait to hear what they say about it. All right, thanks, Steve.
Safe to say the weather pandemonium is over as we start to get nicer conditions out there.
We're starting to warm up a little bit. Been nice to see the sun today. We'll see it tomorrow. It looks like 35 is your high today after a morning low of 27. Here's a live look from the Roofing Dog iNet camera down in Charleston. Cloud cover down there as well, but notice how calm the wind is. Coming up, we talk though about warming into the weekend and the rain chances that's going to bring us.
Now, certified by Weather Rate. Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Derek Faber.
We'll continue to watch the cloud cover across the area. Here's the good news, though. We don't have to deal with any snow or rain tonight, tomorrow. That could change, though, as we head, unfortunately, into our weekend. A lot of cloud cover today, real low-lying clouds. But notice it's starting to kind of punch a hole down here to our south and west. And across the Midwest, a lot of clouds across part of our area. You can see also, though, as you get further southwest, which this is the air that's warmer and moving in our direction, that will bring us clearer skies, and I expect those clearer skies to be here by tomorrow morning. Temperatures across the area right now are at 34 in Champaign, 34 in Danville. Look what the little bit of sunshine out in Jacksonville did. They're at 41. 36 for those of you in Pontiac, so at least we got above freezing, and we started to melt some of that snow away. So number one here on our weather headlines, we are expecting clearing skies for tonight. In fact, just to show you how hard these lower-lying clouds are to forecast, Future Track doesn't even have them here on the map. So obviously by tomorrow morning, we expect the clear skies to be arriving here, and we'll continue to see clear skies as you see into the afternoon hours of tomorrow. Then towards the end of tomorrow, here comes our next little layer of clouds. These clouds could lead to a little bit of rain to start the day on Saturday. That should not be too big of a deal. The warm-up is expected to continue here. We're really not going to see temperatures dip too much until we get into next week. We go from 43 tomorrow to 57 Sunday, back down to 43 on Monday, and then back into the lower or upper 40s and low 50s. So we bounce right back after that rain chance as we head Sunday to Monday. It's because of a cold front that will be moving through the area. So let's talk about that weekend rain chance. Here's a look at Future Track, kind of a longer version of it. Eventually we're going to zoom out here. This is tomorrow morning. Here comes the cloud cover from the west. There goes the small chance of rain Saturday morning. As we get into Saturday evening, the next chance of rain sets up, gets here for Sunday morning through the day on Sunday. Sunday could actually be a little bit of a soaker across the area. Forecast for tonight, 21 the overnight low, 43 will be your high for tomorrow. 7-day forecast. Don't forget that on Sunday morning we got to push the clocks forward 1 hour before we go to bed, so you get that extra hour of sleep cut off there. And then falling temperatures on Monday. Could see about an inch and a half between Sunday and Monday, but dry next week once we get past that. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Back into the lower 50s by Thursday. Jennifer?
All right, thank you so much, Derek. Mary T. from Brun is here from the Champaign County Humane Society, and she brought a sweet girl who actually matches me, so I appreciate coordinating with the pet adopt.
That's right. We should talk on the phone every time.
So tell us about Coco.
This is Coco, and she is 7 years old, spayed female, and she came to us rather sick. And turns out she needed surgery, and we did the surgery at the shelter, and we removed some pretty sizable bladder stones.
Yeah.
So she's going to need a special diet probably for the rest of her life. I mean, the adopter's veterinarian can talk about that, but probably something that will help decrease the likelihood of those.
There, look at it. You know what I love about her? She's not overly anxious about the food. You know, she's not nipping at it. She's not grabbing at it. She's just she is so sweet. And she's also a mutt.
Yes.
And we love our mutts, and we love our mutt strut.
Right.
So we're going to tell everybody the date has been set, so put it on the calendar.
Right. The mutt strut is coming up on May 4th. It's a Saturday. As always, Saturday morning. And it's our annual dog walk fundraiser at Hessel Park in Champaign. And we've got all the info up on the website. You can register. You can start raising funds for us through First Giving. And all the info is there on the website. So we hope we have a good turnout, lots of mutts or purebreds. All dogs are welcome.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. And if you would like to do a little strut over to the Humane Society and give a visit to Coco, she is eager to find a forever home. And this is they're all good. This is a real special.
She's a real nice dog.
All right, so there she is. Thank you so much, Mary. Dave?
A man tried to rip off another guy, but he didn't have any money. Find out what the suspect did next. Also tonight.
These sanctions will bite, and bite hard.
North Korea threatening the U.S. following new sanctions against the country. What experts say is the likelihood of a nuclear attack.
news in HD continues here on WCIA-3, your local news leader.
A guy gets off of work. He's walking to his car when a stranger comes out of nowhere.
He demanded money from the victim, but the victim stated that he didn't have any.
Not happy with that answer, the bad guy takes it out on the victim. In Crime Watch tonight, it happened at the BP Circle K gas station on Stevenson Drive in the middle of the afternoon. It was Saturday, March 2nd. Now, Springfield police say he hit the victim in the head after he said he didn't have any money. It all went down in this parking lot. And the bad guy acted like he had a gun.
This suspect approached the victim with his hand in his coat pocket, but his hand was extended out as if he was holding a weapon inside his coat pocket.
Police say the suspect was described as a black man in his 30s, about 5'10", 180 pounds. He was wearing a brown hooded jacket and ran from the scene. If you know anything about this, you want to call Sangamon and Menard County Crime Stoppers or send in your tip with a text or online. You could get cash for your help.
Cars starting on their own, what could be causing this frightening problem?
Also tonight, a lawmaker taking a stand. What kept him on the Senate floor for nearly 13 hours. In world news tonight, North Korea threatening to launch a preemptive nuclear strike against the U.S.
The statement came just before the UN Security Council voted this morning to impose tougher sanctions against the country for its recent nuclear test. Kim Jong-un's regime threatened the U.S., saying Washington is pushing to start a nuclear war against the isolated country. Lawmakers responded to the threat at a Senate hearing.
Think that the regime in Pyongyang wants to commit suicide, but that, as they must surely know, that would be the result.
The U.S. drafted the Security Council resolution along with China, North Korea's closest ally. It targets the money and banks used to supply North Korea with missiles and other weapons. Most experts don't think North Korea is capable of launching a nuclear missile on the U.S. at this time. Osama bin Laden's son-in-law has been captured and is now in the U.S. He's being held in New York. He's expected to appear in court tomorrow to face federal charges. U.S. officials also say the official spokesman of al-Qaeda was captured within the past week in Jordan.
And in national news tonight, President Obama trying a new strategy when it comes to breaking the gridlock in Washington. He's personally reaching out to Republicans. He invited Congressman Paul Ryan to lunch at the White House today. You may remember Ryan was Mitt Romney's running mate, and he chairs the House Budget Committee. The president also working to build support for a long-term budget deal by having a dinner with a dozen Republican senators last night. And next week, he plans to travel to Capitol Hill. Well, one of the senators not at that dinner, Kentucky Republican Rand Paul. That's because he was staging a one-man filibuster to delay the confirmation of John Brennan to head the CIA. He stood on the Senate floor for 13 hours, as you can see by the clock there. Paul wanted the Obama administration to make it clear drones would not be used in the U.S. to kill American citizens. He stopped his delay when the Justice Department said the president did not have the authority to have that kind of attack. In the end, the Senate did confirm Brennan as CIA director.
Subaru is recalling nearly 50,000 vehicles. It's because they run the risk of starting themselves. The recall applies to Legacy, Outback, and Impreza models from 2010 to 2013. Also includes the 2013 Crosstrek. The automaker says the affected cars have a remote engine starter. Subaru says if that's dropped, the fob may malfunction and start the engine without pressing the button. Owners can get their fobs replaced starting at the end of April.
Yeah, you hate to go out to the garage and find out your car's been running for a while.
No, you got to hang on to that.
All right, we'll be right back.
HD continues here on WCIA-3, your local news leader.
Skies will be clearing for tonight, 21 the overnight low, 43 for tomorrow, and up at 6 we'll talk about what we're tracking. And yes, it's warming up, but we're also talking about rain chances as we head through our weekend. And unfortunately, the warmer of the 2 days may be the rainier of the 2 days as well.
Just can't wait to see the sun.
Yeah, I can't wait to feel warm. Again, it's been a while.
The 7-day forecast is warmer than normal by just a little bit. So
it'll make up for the last week, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that is the News at 5. Thanks for joining us.
CBS Evening News is next.